Hey everyone, welcome back to JUCO Jam. This is season 4, episode 9. With me as always, the best part of junior college basketball, Brandon Goebel. Brandon, thank you for joining me today.
Of course, my friend. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's start with the rewind. Let's start with the games on Saturday. The surging John A. Logan Volunteers go to Vincennes, come up with a big road win, 70-54, held Vincennes to only 17 first half points. 4 Vols in double figures, led by Christian Dorr with 19. Marcus Eves chipped in 14. For Vincennes, they were led by Trey Vassar with 23 points on 7 out of 8 free throws. Brandon, big win for the Vols.
I love the show notes that Nick puts together for me here on the breakdowns and things. He is 100% the only person in all of basketball media that puts the free throws for the teams and players in the show notes. I know ESPN's not digging that
I
deep.
like the free throws.
We like the free throws at JUCO Jam, but great win for John A. Logan. That momentum, they got the big Mo right now. They got the big Mo, and that was that just wasn't Vincent's best game. But, a little insider information, all of the players did not get their feet run off at Vincennes after that game. So, maybe a gentler Todd Franklin at this
Different
point in
era.
the season. But, they'll come back. They'll come back strong after this one. Um, they've got Lincoln Trail, I think, next.
Lincoln Trail. Lincoln Trail playing good basketball, but it was interesting to see how the Blazers bounce back from this. I don't think anybody in the country had any expectation that any team would go undefeated. There's too much parity in college basketball.
100%.
Let's pivot towards the good folks in the Panhandle Conference. Brandon, Tallahassee, the surging first place Eagles. They've won 4 out of 6 games in the Panhandle. They defeat Pensacola 71-65. Devin Bates led the way with 22 points for Pensacola. Shane Cherry with 17. One of the cool things about Tallahassee, they're so balanced. 9 guys played between 15 and 30 minutes. Also in the Panhandle Gulf Coast. Big road win, 87-59 against Chipola. So quick look at the standings. Tallahassee leads the Panhandle at 4-2. Northwest Florida and Gulf Coast, both at 3-2. What are you thinking right now about that Panhandle, Brandon?
Well, Tallahassee just having that kind of depth, I think, is really the story for them this year. A lot of teams right now are trying to figure out, hey, who's our like 6, 7 guys we're just going to roll with. Doing a little different at Tallahassee, they're able to go deep into the bench and
Like 9
find.
starters. There's no drop.
Yeah, it's interesting the balance they have there, and then that Gulf Coast win at Chipola. Coach Lane is feeling good about that one. That's a big time statement win, I
Mentor
think.
mentee type of thing too. Probably
Yeah.
means a little bit more. And then the granddaddy of them all, Saturday night, Snow CSI, Snow 83-77. Jalen Lynn chipped in 20 for CSI. As a team, they hit the free throws, 23 out of 32, 82%. I like that. We like the free throws here, but struggled from the three, 6 out of 23, 26%. All right, we've talked a lot about the different Badgers, big McCaden Adams fan, and he scored 19. He hit 7 out of 8 of his free throws. Would like him to see it hit the other one. I want to talk about Kyle Limke. They have all these bigs. And here Kyle Limke is. He's got the great mustache. There's a lot of aura around it. He comes off the bench, Brandon, in 29 minutes, gets 29 points, 14 out of 16 from the field. More than just a great mustache, he's a pretty good post player.
Yeah, and at this point of the season, in a major game like that, to have somebody that's been a great role player to this point just step up and kind of go into full takeover mode, and needed it, right? I mean, 6 point game. If CSI had shot the ball just a little bit better, they're right there at the end. But Lemke went off. Whoever's recruiting him, you got to make sure there's a good mustachery nearby.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's product in there that
That seems like an amazing NIL opportunity for
yeah,
someone.
yeah, why not? Of course. So yeah,
Some
Limpy
Lemke
stepping up big
wax.
like that.
Yeah, that's a great stash. There's a ton of aura. You just feel it.
All the aura. Lemke stepping up big like that was huge. And now, going forward here, knowing that you've kind of got that ability in there is just one more layer to that strong snow team.
Monday night, 3 big games in the junior college scene. We talk a lot about West Texas Soup. We don't always talk about this northern region. One of the teams that I'm really psyched about, Brandon, If I'm thinking
Mm.
about a team that might be a little off the grid, makes a deep run into March, are they this year's Connor State? I'm talking about McLennan. Now you got it. 75-55, big winners on the road in Plano against Collin County. McLennan 20-1. I fell in love with this team earlier in the season. I watched him play Angelina, Coach JJ Montgomery, a great coach in his own right. But McLennan, they play that defense. And I think defense and rebounding always translates to W's in March. Super excited about them. This Missouri region, I mean, it's a bloodbath. It's the Thunderdome every night. You got Three Rivers, you got Moberly, you got Mineral Area. I have no idea who's going to come out of that region. Last night, Moberly gets a big 66-57 win over Three Rivers. And of course, we'll talk Whack Jack. We have to talk Whack Jack. Is this the year of the Hawk? They go to Midland. They get a big 91-83 win at Midland, puts Howard a full game ahead of Midland in first place. So crazy, crazy slate of action on
All
Monday,
sorts of
Brandon. What?
things happening. All
Yeah,
sorts.
I threw a lot at you. It's kind
Yeah.
of a buffet style. Take it where you will.
A lot of season left for McLennan to really show everybody, what they are. Obviously their record to this point has been great, but now they, in the teeth of league play can really kind of show out what they're capable of. And then that Missouri League is just flip a coin, right? Like there's so much talent there. There's a lot of parity, and Howard at Midland was crazy because Howard is doing this still without Terry Copeland right now. Victor Yemga had a great game. I think he went 5 of 5 from three, the big 6'8" forward going to Abilene Christian. And then Oscar Oscar Wickstrom, I got a text from Coach Cooper at Howard. He said, "Well, it's official. We played Oscar at the 5, so he's now played 1 through 5 this year."
Good to be
Uh,
versatile.
yeah, it's 6'8" and headed to Denver next season. You just I don't know, where do you want him to play? Just pick a spot.
Shib-
Absolutely one.
Shabango and Ivory playing better, right? Ivory had the injury early. He's coming back. Shabango becoming more of an attacker offensively. His game is evolving. Culberson's been steady for him all year. Howard, they lose the first game of the year to Enid after we said nice things. That
We
one's on
said nice
us.
things.
We said nice things, right? That one's on us. We talk them up. That one's on us. Coach Cooper, we apologize. Since then, smooth sailing, smooth sailing. All right, Brandon, if we shall, let's transition to the rundown. I've identified a few games that I'm super stoked about, and I know you are too. Wednesday night, Trinity Valley at Kilgore. This is these top two teams in Region 14. All right, Trinity Valley 10-2, Kilgore 8-2. So they're even in the loss column. Huge opportunity for Kilgore. Once again, this could be one of those Cinderella type teams. If you're looking for somebody in your bracket that's going to be the bracket buster, the next Connor State, could be Kilgore. Region 4 teams have done well at Hutch recently. And then, it's Wednesday night, which means we've got a nice doubleheader of panhandle action. Tally, Gulf Coast, two incredibly hot teams, Northwest and Pensacola. What gets you the most excited about Wednesday night?
That Kilgore game's going to be great. Kilgore's got really good guard play. If they're able to get that win at home, that's a huge statement win for them as they're going into the later parts of the season here. And then Northwest Florida at Pensacola, Northwest Florida just kind of has to keep trucking along with what they're doing and kind of wait for other things to fall in place. One of those things, of course, being the other game, Tallahassee and Gulf Coast. Who's going to come away from that one? I mean, two teams that are well, three teams there: Tallahassee, Gulf Coast, Northwest Florida, all very, very deserving of being Hutch teams this year, loaded up with talent. And so it's like, moving pieces around the chessboard. Who's going to fall into place?
I have no idea.
No
I have
idea.
no idea.
Couldn't tell you.
And that's what makes it so fun. It's like you really have no idea what's going to happen from game to game. And then as our show airs Thursday afternoon, a couple hours later after you check in on our show, Odessa at South Plains. And, both of these teams are fighting for one of those coveted top four spots to get to go to the region tournament. Odessa currently in third place at 4-2. South Plains tied for fourth at 4-3. At South Plains, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, we're getting in the whack jack there, especially kind of in that third, fourth, fifth spot. We're getting to crunch time. Where every one of these games is just so important that there's really not a lot of separation between any of the teams in the league. but South Plains and Odessa have had a couple hiccups here and there that I know coaches want to make up for, and this is a major opportunity for both. So whoever doesn't come away with the win here is definitely got some work to do.
And then Saturday, this has turned into the official channel for Panhandle basketball. Pensacola at Gulf Coast, Northwest Florida at Chipola. I don't think we need to elaborate anymore. It's can't miss basketball. Tune
Can't
in,
miss.
watch it, you'll enjoy it. All right, that concludes the rundown. When we return, we're going to have former national champion Coach Tyler Smithpeters on the show with us on the Spotlight.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Everyone, welcome back to JUCO Jam. We are in the spotlight with Coach Tyler Smithpeters, national champion Tyler Smithpeters. Coach, you are one of my favorite teams in the country right now. You've won 8 games in a row. I think if we just threw out the records and just evaluated teams on who they are right now, I think you might be the best team in the country. Talk to me about the surging Vols right now.
I think the biggest thing is just the buy-in. I think we're playing together. I think is the biggest thing. The unselfishness and obviously just the defensive side. I mean, when we played Ben Sims, we held them to 54 points, and that's what we tell our guys is. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. Like one of our good quotes, and a lot of people use it. It's defense tells you if you win or lose, and offense tells you by how much. And we try to just kind of go off that, and we know we're going to score points. We just got to be able to get stops.
Oh, and against Vincennes, you definitely did that, right? You held them to 17 first half points. Um, they're not an easy team to defend. They have some guys who can attack you off the bounce, but
Mm-hmm.
you definitely have some buy-in there. You guys are tough, but I mean, offensively, you guys are a matchup nightmare. If at all times you have kind of 4 shooters on the court, it seems like sometimes you're playing with 4 point guards. And there were times last night when I was watching you play against Lincoln Trail, you had Taylor Smith and Justice Decker out there together as your big guys, which kind of feels like you have 5 shooters on the court. So I
Mm-hmm.
think you're a complete matchup nightmare right now.
Yeah, no, and it's a credit to our guys because we can play a little smaller just because our guys have been playing a lot tougher. We can guard a 5-man that you wouldn't initially think you could with a 6'6" guy, and we don't go 5 out or with 5 guards very often, but sometimes we do, and we did it last night. It worked out for us. We just kind of spread the floor and as we tell our guys, just attack and read and react.
One of the guys that I think has really elevated his game this year recently is Taylor Smith. I thought he had a really good freshman season. Maybe he put a little bit too much pressure on himself to start the season, and maybe didn't play as well as he would have liked to out of the gate. But right now, I mean, he kind of feels like he's playing a little bit like Davius Lowry last year for you down the stretch. He's hitting shots from 3. He's attacking the basket. He's hitting free throws. It seems like he's really kind of found himself in the second semester.
Yeah, no, he's done a great job, and that's the Taylor Smith that we know. Um, that has been playing the last 4 or 5 games like that. And you guys know how it is. And kind of like you said, Nick, like some of these guys just put a lot of pressure on themselves and think they just have to be perfect every single game. And it's not going to happen that way, especially in college basketball and just basketball in general. So just trying to tell these guys, like, man, you got to play through some of that stuff. Like, oh, you missed a shot. Who cares? Go get a stop. And I think he's finally turning that corner and gaining that confidence back of, all right, I belong here and I know what I can do. And that's the big thing.
One of the things that I really like about you and respect is the fact when you say that you will play anybody anywhere if it's logistically possible, like you actually mean it. And, the NJCAA selection committee has come out and said, go out and play tough people. And I don't know that anybody has played a more challenging schedule outside of the games you have to play. You've played Moberly, Three Rivers twice, Mineral twice. You played Coffeyville. You played at Indian Hills, and of course, naturally played Vincennes twice. You guys are so battle tested right now. I don't think that anything would surprise you. But just talk a little bit about your belief in going out and playing a schedule like that.
Yeah, I think playing a tough non-conference schedule, I mean, it just helps us for conference. Like last night, for instance, I mean, Lincoln Trail is a tough place to play. I mean, it's a 3 hour drive from us. You're sitting on a bus or a van, and Lincoln Trail's good. You have their baseball team there, all that stuff. I mean,
they always have the baseball team there, right? That's a
never
staple of
failed.
Lincoln Trail. That baseball team's ready to go.
Yeah. And we've been through those situations because of our non-conference. We went to Indian Hills and played. We went to Three Rivers and played. And I think that just helps us down the road because, I mean, we're starting 4 freshmen right now. And just getting them that experience early, I think that's why we're playing well right now because, as I've told our guys, like, well, we've played in some of the tougher places to play in the country, and that's what we want. I mean, I think it just helps us in the end. I'm not really worried about a record, especially in non-conference, because I know it's tough, and I don't expect to go undefeated. We need to have these teams show us our weaknesses and what we need to get better at, and that's why we do it.
I think your team's, right where you want it to be right now as far as how they're playing. I think about your team last year. You get to the national tournament. You play Connors State. You led the majority of that game. Connors goes on to be the national runner-up, and you were right there with him. And I see this team this year surging at the right time. I think it's a more talented version than than last year. And 2 kids I wanted to ask you about if you could comment on. Christian Dorr, I just love watching him play. He seems to be so explosive, but he does it with such good balance, and he picks his spots really well. And then I think maybe the key to your success down the stretch might be Alexander Bryant. Maybe adjustment to college basketball was a lot early in the season. Maybe got pushed around a little bit, not used to playing guys as physical and strong. I thought he showed up incredibly well against Vincennes. Seemed like he was in the right spot defensively all the time. If you would just talk about those 2 freshmen.
Yeah, no, I mean, and Christian, I think I think he's a true point guard in the aspect, man. He can get downhill, but he's able to read the defense, and that's what's huge. I think he's our only guy, or I shouldn't say only, but he had a double-double earlier this year with however many points and 10 assists. I mean, that's impressive to do that. And not just offensively, but defensively, he's probably one of our better on-ball defenders. And it's just he's a Division I transfer, so I mean he's been through it when it comes to practice and all that. But the biggest thing with him is he brings it every day, and he's a phenomenal human being off the court and on the court. And I think our guys see that he brings it every day, and they try to relay that same thing to the rest. So, I mean, it's just having him has been huge. And then with Alexander, and I think you're right, Nick, it's just the physicality was a lot for him early on. I think the first time we played Vincennes, their big guy went 9 of 10 from the field. And then when we played Vincennes this past time, I don't think he scored an actual field goal until
no post players had no post players had a bucket. I think there was a couple free throws eventually, but they didn't get a field goal.
Yeah, and going back to the non-conference, that's why we play those tough schedule like that, because that's what the stuff that we need to see early and get better at. And Alexander, I mean, he's a phenomenal student. He's got Ivy League type grades, and that's where he wants to go, to a school like that. And just credit to him, because I think he had 8 points in the first half last night against Lincoln Trail, and just he plays hard. He's 6'8" and super athletic and just very versatile. So I mean,
I love his help defense.
He keeps getting better.
I
Oh,
feel
he
like
does a great job.
he's a
Yeah.
really good help side defender.
Yep.
Like I love how he helps off the ball. I love that. All right,
Yeah.
here I'm going to ask you one more tough question, and it's still kind of a
Okay.
softball because Brandon's going to ask the real heavy hitting stuff. It's what he does, but
Gotcha.
and I don't want a coach answer. I want you to give the answer of what you're telling the guys behind the closed door. Just what you tell the
Yeah.
guys. Not the public, not the media. But like what do you really
Uh,
need to see from these guys to get back to the national tournament? Like what are you pounding them on every day?
the biggest thing is just our effort and energy. I mean, that's what I always say a lot. But like for instance, yesterday it was about like most teams when they have a really big win, their next game is kind of up and down, as we call it, a hangover from the game before. And that's what I told the guys. I said we can't have any sort of hangover in that situation. And our guys did a good job, but especially with the situation with our gym and all that that's going on, like control what we can control. And that's our effort and energy and our attitude. And if we do those things, then we'll be good to go.
And I've done such a terrible job of teeing this up, but for those who don't know, you are without a gym. You have no home court to practice. You will play no home games for the remainder of the season. At least your next home game will be played at my alma mater at SIC at Southeastern Illinois and Harrisburg
Yeah.
or Muddy, wherever you want to consider it actually is. Which is not a short drive, right? That's what, 45 minutes, an hour
Yeah,
from Carterville?
45. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Sorry.
you're going from gym to gym, local high schools helping you out with practice.
Yeah.
Somehow, though, I
We
feel
went
that this
to
is a storyline. It's a galvanizing force. More time together.
No, and I agree. I think it's helped us. I think we went to 4 different schools last week around the area. And obviously a big shout out to the schools that are allowing us to be able to practice at their place. But I mean, it's a lot of bringing a lot of gear to a random gym, practicing for whatever amount of time that they can give us, and then bringing a lot of random gear back to the school and dropping it off and trying to do it again the next day.
If you win national title too, it's going to make for a great Disney movie.
It would.
I mean, instead of the Mighty Ducks, you'll be the Mighty Vols.
I just need to figure out who would play me so I can approve it.
It's John Hamm's playing Tyler, I think. That's
for sure.
There we go. Okay.
Given.
All right, I've teed you up with the easy stuff. I'm gonna kind of pass it off to the big guy and hit you with the hard hitting stuff.
All right, Coach, you've been on the show before, so if I hope you didn't just kind of spend all week thinking about this question, but you may have. So let's just imagine for a second that you're out,
Okay.
I don't know, driving 3-4 hours to practice, wherever it is, Ohio, maybe for practice, something like that. And you finish up a great practice and they happen to have a Chili's in town. And you said, you know what, that was the best practice of the year. I'm taking the guys to Chili's before we make the trek back to not Ohio. What are you eating at Chili's?
Either the triple dipper or the Cajun pasta.
Cajun pasta is nice. Shrimp or chicken on the pasta?
Chicken.
It's like a warm hug, that Cajun pasta. I don't know how else to describe it.
With the toast.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And fortunately, we do have a Chili's in Carbondale to where if we need a fix, we can go get it.
Well, you don't get to practice at home anymore, so that Chili's isn't going to do you
no.
Yeah. So. If you are a fan of junior college basketball, or you just like Tyler, you can send Chili's gift cards for the fellas straight to campus. I'm sure Tyler take good care of them. But help these guys out that are traveling. Let's send these guys some Chili's gift cards. Help them out.
100%. Well, Coach, we
just
appreciate
make sure you put my
coming
name
on
it, not our.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Nick, just make sure we tell them that they put my name on it, not my office door, because
there is no office door.
Yes.
Just disappeared into the ether. So, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. Good luck the rest of the way with the all of the fun
road
things,
games.
the road games and the whatnot. Technically, they're home.
Find a way, Brandon.
Technically, home games, but
we'll find a way.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, when we come back, we will be getting into the grind.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for two-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We are going to the grind. We're going to talk about one of my favorite players this season. It's Christian Dorr, 6'2", 6'3" guard from Louisville. He's on John A. Logan, redshirted at Murray State, averaging about 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, good free throw shooter, 80%. Just an explosive athlete with great balance. Really fun to watch. I think he has a tremendous upside.
Yeah, I mean, a former D1 transfer, redshirted last year at Murray State. A guy from the area that is just really, really putting on a show right now, and a huge part of what we talked about the Big Mo with John A. Logan.
Rolling.
He's a big part of that, right? And of course, you love the free throws, right? 80%. But
Can't get enough.
When you have a guard like that that can just be as consistent as he's been, that's going to take you a long ways.
Speaking of guards, we saw this guy in person the last couple of years at the national tournament in Hutchinson. Because
talking about him, if you recall,
but made him some money. we talked about him so much he took it straight to the bank. Lateef, where's our cut? Where is our cut? We're talking about Lateef Patrick, who was at Stephen F. Austin. 6'2", 205 pounds from Milton, Massachusetts. He's picked up right where he left off. 15 and a half points a game, 40% from three. His high game this year is 29 points. This guy could play at any level. He is just a basketball player. He's a bucket getter, and he is just really fun to watch play. And I'm glad to, pull him up on the computer and see him put up these stats. I'm not surprised one bit.
Yeah. They had a huge win against McNeese, really important in the league standings there. But I FaceTimed him this weekend, and we were talking, and this was right after their game. And he's clearly playing video games. And I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm playing Madden. He's locked in on Madden. Like, you can just see he's focused. This is how I decompress. And I'm like, This doesn't seem decompressing. This seems like you're all tuned up to smack somebody in Madden. And it struck me that Dalton Connect was the same way. Dalton's competition brain never turned off, right? It was like, okay, I got up, I went to work out, I competed, then I went to practice and I competed, then I played in the game and I competed, and then my decompression was playing video games where I'm competing. And, I think that probably says a lot about Lateef and his, think about how much winning he did at Trinidad State, how much winning he's doing at Stephen F. Austin. Like, you have a guy like that just competes all the time at an incredibly high level, and is driven by that. You're going to win a lot of games. And so, the pride of Milton, Massachusetts, definitely competing down there in sunny Nacogdoches. And helping Stephen F. Austin to that first place standing in the Southland right now.
I want to see him in the big dance. I want to see I want to see it. Because I'm a believer in him, man. And when I saw him in person, I was like, this kid's the real deal. He's got that balance. Kind of reminds me of Vinnie Johnson. That's my NBA player comp.
Couple 40 balls at Hutch or whatever it was. I don't even remember.
Yeah, crazy. Like, somewhere between like a Vinnie Johnson and a Mitch Richmond. Like, that's what I see when I watch him play. Just an absolute bucket getter. I love it. All right, that concludes the show. not the entire show. Stay with us after this commercial break. We're going to talk about the sixth man. We like to think about those as our closing thoughts. So stay with us after this commercial break, the sixth man.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. This is the sixth man. All right, so we were going to talk about TJ Coulter at Laramie County because incredible year. And then you one-upped me, and then you mentioned Jaden Martin at Parkland, Division II. And he's having an incredible year.
Incredible year.
And then
we went deeper, ladies.
And then we went deeper. Tell me about your sixth man, Brandon. This is great name, even better story.
You know, digging around, looking for guys that people aren't talking enough about. And you know, D2 JUCO basketball doesn't always get the love that it deserves. And so I was just clicking around through the glory that is the website and came across one that is leading all of JUCO, no matter what level you're playing at, in points per game. And his name is Sir, S-I-R, Real, R-E-A-L, Smith. And he plays at Delta College, which I believe is in Michigan. And he is averaging 32.8 points per game on 55% from the field, 44% from three. He has taken 338 shots this year.
Woo!
But those babies go in. They go in a lot. We're not talking about an inefficient 33 points per game. We're talking about, you know, if that ball goes up, you're surprised it doesn't go in sometimes. So
44 from three, that's
44
juicy.
from three, that's juicy. We've already taken close to 100 threes. He'll in 15 games, mind you, he had a couple of days that he missed some games.
Do we have any free throw stats? Do you have any free throw stats pulled up?
Free throw stats at 73% on 106 attempts so far in 15 games, which is good.
Okay. Yeah, he's getting to the line. I like that.
Yeah, you know, so I'll connect you and him so that you can talk about free throws a little bit more.
And, you know, if he could maybe push it to 80, maybe he can get an invite to the JUCO Jam Free Throw Invitational.
Yeah, I just knew I would be remiss in not mentioning Surreal Smith.
Surreal Smith, that's awesome.
Season.
Oh, it was a great season. You know, those are the nuggets that we're here for, Brandon. So thank you for that. We talked a lot of games that are coming up this week. Got a great slate of action. I hope everybody has a great sports weekend. I hope everybody enjoys some JUCO basketball, and we'll do this again same time next week. Thank you, Brandon.